Do you know who created October being Breast Cancer
No.
Awareness Month? So I'm going to put the quotes. They're like, let's create a month and call it Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You should be aware of your breasts 365 days a year.
No, just over 1 month.
No.
People looked at me differently, and some just thought like, oh, she mustn't have been through much because she's still got her hair on.
Welcome to The Search for Wellness, a podcast dedicated to discovering the path to a healthier, more fulfilling life. Join us on this heartfelt journey as we share inspiring stories, insightful conversations, and practical tips to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. All right, guys. Today I'm really excited to introduce a very dear friend of mine, a third-generation Kenyan of Indian origin. She's a breast cancer warrior, a mom of 2 boys, and a play therapist specializing in synergic play therapy. Recently, she has also qualified as a level 2 Reiki healing, which she now incorporates in her therapeutic practice. Today, we're mainly going to focus on the breast cancer topic, as it is October, recognized globally as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Welcome, Ekta.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to have you here today. This is something that we have spoken about for a very long time, about sharing your journey. So thank you, first of all, for being here and being open to sharing your journey and being open to just being here and sharing all of this with us.
Yeah, I think the time is right now, and it's about bringing awareness, and you never know who it can help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? So tell me a little bit about your story.
Okay.
I mean, I know it, but like for
Yeah,
everyone else, yeah.
I think around the age of 19, I found out I had breast lumps. And I remember very vividly being at our house in London. It was one evening after uni, everything just getting ready for bed, and I shared with my sister. From that, we went into seeing breast surgeons, doctors, getting scans done, biopsies, just to understand it all. And fast forward, just the constant maintenance has enabled me to have 2 kids, breastfeed them. Some lumps here and there we've had to remove, which have been calcified, but I knew the cancer was going to come. Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes when you have breast lumps, there's always that what if situation. But it did happen when I was 33 during COVID. I remember that time as the world was shutting down, I could feel one of my lumps growing. And I should add that I didn't just have one lump, I have had a few in both breasts. So we were based in Kenya then, as it's home, yet my doctors were in the UK. So just navigating all of that was a tough period, yet learning to listen to my intuition and knowing what I wanted. So I remember the day very vividly, June 15th. I was on the call with the radiographer who had the report. I'd had the biopsy done earlier, and they said, yeah, it was DCIS, low grade, and then looking for the right doctor here because with my history, and since I was 19, I've been searching or just keeping an eye out here, knowing is there someone who's ideal, who suits my needs? And I'd never found one. So it was very interesting as we were navigating that, made appointments with various doctors. I'm not going to mention names. A lot of them annoyed me. A lot of them, I walked out of it all. And I still remember the time, even my husband and I were, because of course it's a stressful period for the family as well. We were having some conflict around it all because he was like, yeah, but the doctor suggests this. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I know what I want. And finally, I found the right doctor who knew of my doctor in the UK. And so we had the lump removed here. And then just trying to plan around the boys' schedule, everything to go to the UK for further treatment, because with DCIS, they say lump removal, tamoxifen, or radiation within 6 months, or a mastectomy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that severe because just taking care. But many people I know who go through DCIS is they choose to have the lump out and then tamoxifen, or depending on the stage of the cancer, chemo or radio. And DCIS is ductal carcinoma in situ. Yeah.
And then you went to London.
Yeah.
And then you did your surgery.
I did. We were there for about 7 weeks because then the world locked down again.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully we managed to come home. So through scans, everything, we decided with the doctor's guidance, let's go for a double mastectomy, because I was not going to have any more kids. It was a choice we had made, and that was his main concern. And I had a diag flap as well. So that is basically using your tummy fat to make new breasts. Why did we go for this option? Is because it's your own skin. The blood vessels are connected, so as you become fat, you grow bigger boobs. As you become thin, your boobs reduce as well, because it's all just fat. So that we did, and thankfully the vessels, everything was fine, because if we didn't do that, it would have been implants. But implants have their pros and cons as well.
So it's all you. It's still you.
It's all me.
Which is really good.
It's all me. And then I didn't keep my nipples, because if you do keep your nipples, you apparently get a 5% chance of getting cancer again.
And you didn't want to have that at the back of your mind at all.
Yeah, and when we did the mastectomies, touch wood, lymph nodes were clear. So I did.
How many lymph nodes did you have removed?
The sentinel one on the side of the cancer, and then the 2 axillary ones on the right breast, which didn't have the cancer.
And they were all negative, right?
They were all negative, but they found another area in the breast that had the cancer, which had turned cancerous. So within a span, let's say I found out June 15, I had my lumpectomy done 25th August. And when we had the mastectomies done 28th November, there was another area of cancer which had gone from low grade to intermediate grade. So if I'd left it longer, it may have progressed.
How long was your surgery?
12 hours.
And how long was your recovery?
So that time was an interesting time, because no visitors were allowed in hospitals, etc. So my husband had to drop me to the door of the hospital. The security guard took me in, and then that day we did the surgery. We went on a bit longer due to they were trying to find the right vessel, which worked in the end. But the stress, because no one was allowed in the hospital. They had to be home. So can you imagine the anxiety on everyone else? Then in ICU for a night, checking on if the flaps had connected and the blood was flowing. And then I think it was 4 nights in the hospital that wanted to keep me in for a week. But I get very paranoid in hospitals.
Yep.
And we were in the UK then for 3 weeks and came home. Though I do think I rushed the recovery.
You rushed the recovery?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess sometimes with life, being a mum, just being on the go, you sometimes just want to get on with it.
You know, mine was very similar. I mean,
Yeah.
we've spoken about this before, but
Yeah.
mine was very similar, where I also went into hospital during a COVID period where everything was locked down. So my husband dropped me at the lift, and he said bye to me, and then he picked me up 3-4 days later.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. Like, you know, it was like one of those, I felt like I was going into jail almost, you know, like the window would only open a little bit in the hospital, so you could only get a little bit of fresh air. And I felt like this was like almost like my test in life. Like, you have to go through this one big hurdle in order to come out the other side and just be accomplished again. And in many ways, it was my 40th, I was turning 40 that year. And I'd said to myself, my 40th was like a rebirth, like I was reborn at my 40th birthday, even though I had a very depressing 40th birthday, but it was still like my rebirth. And now when I look back at it, it was a really tough time. And now even if I'm in London and I'm driving past the Royal Marsden, I get like anxiety. My heart just starts pounding. It's really sad. I wanted to ask you a question. When you were told at 19 that, okay, I'm going to, I have these lumps and they may turn into cancer, that was like somebody planted the seed in your mind and drove it with fear.
Agreed. The seed was, it may. They never said would. It may. So maybe it was a seed and the manifesting around it all. But I think I achieved. No, I know I achieved it all because I managed to have 2 kids and breastfeed them with these lumps growing on in my breast. But now looking back at it, but could I have, and this is the reason why I chose the double mastectomies as well, could I have carried on yearly with MRI scans and ultrasounds and the constant hospital visits? Because as you mentioned, like when you drive past Royal Marsden, when I drive past any hospital or have to go into any hospital, I get anxious and I get in a state. And but I do feel like yours. Mine was a big test for me because I was in my most vulnerable state. I'm someone who behaves and shows like I'm strong.
Like you've got everything put together.
Yeah, I can do it all. But that time, I know I needed help bathing. I needed help getting out of bed. I needed help with everything. And reflecting back on it now, I'm like, I'm kind of glad the family wasn't there to see me
go through that.
Yeah, because would I have allowed myself to be that vulnerable?
Yeah, true. It's such a scary and such a sensitive topic, right? When it comes to cancer and when it comes to having a cancer diagnosis, when it comes to sharing, when it comes to being open about these things, it is one of those things that we are really like fearful of. It's also very, it's a market that has been driven by fear. Like literally fear sells cancer like anything. And we've seen it, especially when you've been in the depths of it all. Yeah. When you got diagnosed, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
Shock. As much as I knew it may, but when you read those words or hear those words, you're not prepared for it. I didn't know. I felt myself go into a very zone, like protective state, yet I was not me.
And how did your kids handle it? Did they know?
Yes, they were the first people I told.
And they understood the whole...
They understood because they had been with me to the hospitals prior. I know a lot of people told me, why did you tell the kids?
No, I think it's important for them to have that awareness at a young age.
It's important for them to have that. And because they become your biggest support as well and hold you up when days are hard.
And they become your reason for living.
Yeah.
The reason you want to stay alive and you're doing all of this. It's not that you're doing it for any other reason. You're doing it for one reason only, and that is so that you can be there for your children. You can be there for your family. You can see them grow. You can also create this life for them where there is, awareness around this stuff, so that from a young age, you've instilled these things in their mind that it's not, again, driven by fear. It should not be driven by fear. It should be driven by your intuition. It should be driven by your understanding of what is wrong, what is right, and what is so wrong in the world that is creating this with so many people, right? I mean, the rate of cancer has shot up like exponentially. Breast cancer on its own is like the second largest cancer to be diagnosed, right? In 1 year alone, the amount of people who get diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's all driven by fear, which is going to lead me to my next question. What are your thoughts on mammograms?
So I do agree with you on the fear aspect in that, but then the breasts, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
The breasts, you can feel them, you can touch them. It's not like an internal, let's say,
Yeah.
uterine cancer,
Mhm.
ovarian cancer, things like that. Why are we not doing exams? Why are we not touching ourselves?
Self-examination,
Examination.
right?
Yeah. Why are we not?
Looking at ourselves in the
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah. Why are we running away from ourselves? And why are we checking when it's too late? Why are we not instilling that in our daughters, in our sons? Breast cancer just does not affect women.
Yeah.
That just keep an eye out on you from a young age.
Mm.
Mammograms. I had my first one when I got diagnosed with cancer, and it was in Kenya because they, at that time, they were not doing the 3D MRI imaging. So, what is my view on mammograms? Thankfully, I never have to have them again. But they're there. Doctors believe in them for a reason, but there are other ways in which you can get yourself checked. A simple self exam, ultrasound, which are all safer, MRI if you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a tomography that you can do. There's also a new machine, but obviously we don't have these available in Kenya, unfortunately. But yeah, an ultrasound is a really good one because I have dense breasts,
Yeah.
and so I went. I felt or I saw actually a few lumps in my breast last year or earlier this year. So again, I went into that fear state,
Yeah, yeah.
panic attack.
Knowing what you've been through as well.
Yeah, and I was like, no way. And I just had to like calmly compose myself. You're like, listen, it's not a big deal. It could have been just that the bra I was wearing that day was super tight, and my lymph nodes are a little bit like swollen, and it could just be that. Went for an ultrasound, and yeah, it was okay. And they disappeared also, and it was completely fine. And it was just because I have dense breasts. So it's something that is quite common with women who have dense breasts. Now, the thing with the mammogram.
Sorry, before we go, dense breasts. So many think we just have dense breasts and they ignore it.
Mm-mm. You're not supposed to ignore that. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially if you have dense breasts and if you have really large breasts. Yes. Those are the two things. Because when you have really large breasts, you can imagine how much blood and everything is flowing through your breasts, right? So it's interesting about mammograms that if you put 100 radiologists in a room, and you ask them, does radiation give you cancer? They'll all say, definitely radiation can give you cancer. Yet if you ask them, does a mammogram give you cancer? Then maybe one or two might say yes, and the other ones will be like, no ways. Now, especially now, the mammogram machines have become 3D mammogram machines. So they're giving you 10 times more radiation in a very sensitive area of your body, which is your breast, right? You have all these lymph nodes, you have all this blood that is circulating in your breast. And if you have dense breasts and if you have larger breasts, the chances of the radiation impacting you more are higher. So this is things that people go unaware of. And because the big pharma, and they've made these machines, these fancy machines, and then they've named them mammograms. Sounds so pretty, it sounds so beautiful, right? And then you're like, okay, I need to have a mammogram. So this is the reason why I also wanted to talk about this today, was because yes, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but that doesn't mean get a discount on your mammogram and rush to the hospital and get a mammogram done just because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, just because it is time for your mammogram. Have you had your screening? Have you had a check? No, you can do it in many other ways, because at the end of the day, there is a high chance that you could go and get a mammogram and that can actually trigger the cancer. Maybe you have some dormant cells, but then that could actually wake those cells up and create the cancer. And a lot of people will, I've heard this countless times, and I've read about this countless times, that, they'll go for a mammogram, 6 months later, they get diagnosed with cancer. How is it possible, right? So these are the things that I think that hopefully through this platform and through this, we can bring awareness of. Yes, early detection saves lives. Yes, it's good to check your breast and have that awareness. You're living in this body. You reside in this body. So you should always be checking. How am I feeling? What is causing my breasts feeling like this? Is it because I'm wearing a bra that's too tight today? Underwired bras, using toxic deodorants, because then you're like blocking those pores, and that's where exactly where everything releases from. That's literally your air conditioning for the body, and your breasts are the first thing over there.
I totally do feel that there are alternative ways, and October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, everyone pumps in all the information then. Why can't we do it throughout the year?
Yeah.
Why do you have to wait for October for you to be like, oh yeah, damn, I haven't had a ultrasound,
and then you get these
or
discount
MRI,
codes.
or mammogram in 2 years. Let me go and get this discount code and go for it. It's 5 times cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But why can't we be aware daily?
Daily, exactly.
And as I said earlier, I find it's easier for you or for one person or for anyone to pick a lump or a mass in your breast because of the way your breasts are, other than your liver or your kidney or something like that.
Yes.
Because that's all internal. You can't feel them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're lucky you can feel your breasts. Your breasts are on the outside of your body. They're not on the inside of your body, and you can feel.
And that's the thing is, if it was my choice, I would say promote self-exams.
Mm-hmm.
Teach people how to do self-exams.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who don't know.
Knowledge is power.
Teach teens, teach moms who with generational stuff like this is not spoken about.
Mm-hmm.
Educate them. Then ultrasounds are there. Give them those options.
Also, I think it's important to bring that awareness around why is it that the rate of breast cancer has gone up? Why is it that so many people are getting diagnosed with breast cancer? To look at things like, again, like what I said about lifestyle, right? I mean, wearing a bra that is super tight, wearing a bra that is full of phthalates and plastics, because it's like,
push-up bras,
underwired bras, sleeping with a bra, using deodorants that are like 24-hour perspirants. Another thing people don't realize is root canals. Root canals are 100% linked to cancer. Now, where your tooth is, and if you look at the acupuncture meridians, that place where you've had the root canal, 90% of the time, if it's connected to your breast, you are going to end up with breast cancer. And most people who have been diagnosed with breast cancer have that specific tooth that is the one that is containing the root canal.
True.
Which is also very scary. So just, again, prevention. Prevention is better than cure. How do we prevent all of this so that we can make sure that we don't end up in this situation in the first place? Is by awareness.
Awareness and looking at ourselves, our lifestyles, because the amount of toxins around, the way the world is going right now, it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah.
And the one person who can make the change and take care of your own health is you.
Is you, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know who created October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month? I'm going to put the quotes. I did my research. I did my dirty work.
I want to share a bit about October Breast Cancer Awareness Month once you've said that.
Guess so. It's AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca created it with a few other people involved, but AstraZeneca was the one who came up with the idea, and said, okay, let's create this. AstraZeneca. I mean, we all know what AstraZeneca does, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even need to explain.
And everything.
I don't even need to explain what AstraZeneca is. It's like one of the biggest pharma companies. They're trying to promote their chemotherapy. They're trying to promote their machines. They're trying to promote their radiation. They're trying to promote their vaccines. Whatever it is, they're trying to promote it. They're like, let's create a month and call it Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You should be aware of your breasts 365 days a year.
No, just over 1 month.
No.
What I find with Breast Cancer Awareness Month is, to be honest, and probably this is because of my own experience with it, it's become like Valentine's Day, it's become like Christmas. You will see, come next week, every shop will be pink washed.
Yeah.
And then when you ask them, what are you doing?
They have no idea.
Where are you sending the funds to? Are you raising money for this? No. Some people I asked in the past, they're like, we are raising funds for cerebral palsy. I'm like, there's a separate month for it. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I understand why you're doing it in October, because you can get more marketing out of it.
Exactly. It's just
More
become a
sales.
marketing, more sales,
And
discounts.
discounts. People don't understand it has affected someone's life, their family's lives, things like that.
Yeah.
It should be a 365-day awareness for any form of cancer,
No.
any form of sickness, any form of anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I still remember when before I got diagnosed and stuff, I never realized these things. So once you go and they're like, "Oh, would you like to donate money for breast cancer awareness?" And straight away you'll be like, "Yes, I do. I want to donate money." You have no idea where that money is even going, but you would straight away say, "Yes, I want to do this." And you're like, "Okay, wait, hold on a second." Now I'm like, I really question these things. I'm like, where is that money going? Is it going to AstraZeneca? No, thanks.
But that is something maybe we can name it here for whoever's listening.
Yeah.
October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, you may go into a shop, you may go and find a brand, etc. And they say, would you like to buy this pink brooch? Question, it's for charity. Where is that charity going to?
Question the authenticity in that.
Question it.
Yeah.
And question the percentage. That might cost you 10,000, yet they're only giving 2% or minor amounts to it. Where is that going?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, totally. I'm going to ask you something that I wanted to ask you before that I forgot to ask you because we just went back straight into what we're so passionate about. But what was one of your pillars during your healing journey? Or maybe who was your pillar and why?
So I knew that when I found out, I was not going to let cancer consume me. I was bigger, stronger, better than it. So the boys were my pillars, but even myself, because I wanted to teach them that whatever life may throw at you, there's a way for you to work through it and strive and come out more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I have my rough moments? Yes.
We all do.
We all do. Do I still have my rough moments some days? I do. But it's been a journey and it's never ending. It's constantly showing up. So my boys and me.
Do you feel like after you got diagnosed, people started looking at you in a different way?
100%. And I'm sure you may agree with that. I found random people who've never kept in touch saying, are you free for coffee? Are you free for lunch? Are you free for this? Just so that I could become the next gossip story for the ladies' lunch or something or the other.
Wow.
Yes, people looked at me differently, and some just thought like, oh, she mustn't have been through much because she's still got her hair on. So it's just that perception.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm assuming you went through maybe.
That judgment is just... Yeah, honestly, like that is one thing that, I didn't expect, because at the end of the day, how do you talk to somebody who has cancer or who has been diagnosed with cancer? In my situation, like obviously before I got diagnosed, I didn't know how to talk to somebody either, right? So it's not even their fault in a sense, because they have no idea what are the right and wrong and what are the norms and what are the do's and don'ts, right? But if it's coming from a good place and a clean heart, it will be felt. But if it's coming from a dirty place and but she still got her hair, so oh my God, she must not have really, do you think she really had cancer? Or maybe it must not have been that bad. That, I'm sorry, but it's like horrifying to think that there are people like that out there that would say stuff like that, to do stuff like that. But I know that, I've seen that, I've witnessed it myself. I think for me, in my experience, the thing that initially I didn't even tell many people, right? I kept very quiet about it. And I was like, because I didn't know what the hell was going on in my own body and in myself. So why would I even want to share that with somebody and then get opinions of other people and, oh, do this, do that, whatever.
You're already feeling insecure in your own body, questioning the world, and then someone throws more suggestions to you.
Yeah, like go to this hospital.
Track furthermore.
Yeah, like go to this hospital. This person did this person did that. No, don't take advice from somebody unless they've had cancer. That's number one. Yeah, in my belief. And then the other thing is that once everyone slowly started finding out, there were some people who were really nice. Honestly, they were amazing. People who maybe I don't keep in touch with every day and stuff. But honestly, I have a lot of gratitude to those people because they send me these random messages, thinking of you. If you need anything, I'm here. I heard of you. Lots of love, wishing you well, sending you prayers, sending you love. This podcast was created to inspire and connect with people. If you are liking the content of this podcast, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and share this platform. Lots of love. I think holding space is something that is really important, and creating that awareness of like sympathy or empathy, right? Now, obviously, you don't necessarily feel like you can empathize with somebody who's been diagnosed with cancer because you don't want to put yourself in that place. So you try to be sympathetic with that person. But what you said is so right, is just that holding space, keeping that space open so that that person knows that I am here if you need somebody to just talk to. Not even like give advice, no need to give advice. No need to, say this person did this person did that, compare that person to anybody else. Just to be there to listen, just to be an ear to listen. And then that leads me to my next question. How do you talk to somebody who has had a cancer diagnosis, in your opinion? Or how would you have liked to be talked to?
How would you talk to someone, firstly, is just to acknowledge, if you are aware of it, acknowledge it with them. If you have that relationship with them, Pooja, I heard what you're going through. I'm here when and you need to talk, or if you need anything, please reach out. Do your kids want a play date? Something like that. Or just how can you support that person? How would I have liked to be told? Oh my God, I would have liked to be talked to by some a lot different. A lot different. I've had some crap said to me, yet some people have shown up unconditionally, held the space for me, supported me in every way, be it food wise, which we all need to eat, be it looking after the boys, be it with anything, just letting me be on my own as I processed it all, and taking over the rest of my life for me. What I would rephrase in that is, what do you not say to someone?
What do you not say to someone? Yeah.
I've had some of the things I've had said to me. I wish you never came back from your surgeries. Now I'm laughing about it, and probably now.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I had that said to me. I've had influence tell me, if you were passionate about breast cancer, you would have marketed my event more. I'm like, yeah.
What?
That's the whole thing. So it's all, and why am I saying this right now? Because we're October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. To those influencers who are going to use this as a way to make
a
money,
platform to make money, yeah.
It has affected someone's life. Maybe not anyone you know immediately, but someone's life. Be compassionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's such a common disease that, tomorrow it could affect
Bring
somebody
them.
in you or your family or
Yeah.
somebody, right? And it's honestly, it is quite horrifying, yeah, what not to say and what to say to somebody. And it's okay, yes, I agree. It is a very sensitive topic. It's a very tricky situation, but just to hold space and just to say, I'm here for you if you need anything. Some of my friends did some really, really nice things, which was really nice. And I felt really like, took me for a meditation.
Yes.
Just came with me to the forest for a walk.
Yeah.
Just stayed there. One thing that I love is that I'm part of this forum of mine, and we're 6 women in this forum. And when I got diagnosed, the only people I wanted to talk to was them and share with them, because they came from a place of no judgment, no opinions, no trying to give you advice. And they didn't share with anyone. They kept it a secret.
Confidential, yeah.
They kept this confidentiality between us. And that's what the forum is about. And that in itself was so powerful for me. Every decision I made, I spoke to them first. And it's not like they gave me advice, but I just needed somebody to speak to and just be there and just be heard, be felt, be understood. And we have so little of that.
We have that, but it's to find the right people.
It's to find the right people.
I know I had a lot of support as well, which I'm so grateful for. And I was overseas like you were as well, but then coming back home, when we had to come back home, it's a very different shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a they've it's find your tribe.
Yeah. Find your tribe. So true.
And find that tribe who's going to support you and your nearest and dearest around.
What is the one piece of advice you would give somebody listening to this podcast right now who may have just been diagnosed? Or it doesn't have to be breast cancer, it could be any form of cancer, or maybe they know somebody who's very close to them who just got diagnosed.
If you've just been diagnosed, process. Don't hear out doctors. Look at your options. Look at what choices do you have. Don't rush into it without doing your research. For someone knows someone who's recently been diagnosed, yet they're processing things, just make them aware that you're around when and as they need. Hold space.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. It's like if you've been diagnosed, I always tell this to people who come up to me or message me because of the coaching that I do with the cancer coaching. I tell them, I'm like, listen, this cancer didn't come in your body yesterday. It has been there for a while. It has been growing for a while. It's not going to grow exponentially in the next 1 month, whatever. Choose your options wisely. Do your research. Sit and do your research. Look at all your options. In today's world, we're so lucky that we have all these options of it. We have Google, we have the internet, we have all of this stuff that we can actually sit there. Choose your doctor wisely. Choose your options. Listen to your intuition. Let Mother Nature guide you. This is another really big one that a lot of people don't realize is we come from nature, we go back into nature. If we use Mother Nature to guide us and to really tap into that intuition, I feel like my healing came definitely from that. It's just grounding, being in nature, being around animals, just being in that place is where you actually start hearing yourself again. You start hearing your intuition again. And for somebody who has a relative or a friend or somebody who's just been diagnosed, be there for them. Maybe help them do the research. Maybe cook them a nice meal. Make them laugh. Take them away from that. Take them away from that fear. Take them away from that, what's going to happen now? Oh no, and try not to have it driven by fear. Which
normalize it.
Normalize it. Yeah. Why do you think cancer is driven so much by fear?
I think we all thrive on fear, yet fear restricts us from growth. And why is it whenever anyone hears the word cancer, you think it's a death sentence? Yet, using my own example, I was taught may, hear the words, may. I proved everyone wrong, proved let's use everyone wrong. Had the kids, breastfed the kids, then it came, and I chose find someone you can collaborate with doctor-wise, who's not going to impose on you, which causes the fear, and you allow that fear to let someone impose on you. Like I find mine, and I'm very grateful to my doctor. He was always cautious, and he was like, look at your age. We're not going to do radio because of the radiation, chemo. Let's go for this if you're ready for it. Less toxins in your body, no implants, nothing artificial stuff in you, which I'm very grateful. Others would be like, yeah, let's just rush it. I can probably do 5 surgeries if I just put in an implant in time. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And fear is there, but turn your fear into strength. Face your fear.
Yeah. I mean, the market is driven. Fear sells. Fear is like, sell you fear and you're done. Guy in a white coat sitting there selling you fear, sold, done. It's so easy to sell somebody fear.
Within yourself. You didn't know you.
Exactly.
You're not allowing yourself to sit with that fear and question, why am I so scared of
Of
this
this.
thing growing in me?
And who grew that cancer? You grew it yourself. Cancer grows in your body because your immune system is compromised. Your only person who can take that cancer away from you is your own immune system, because you grew it. You're the only one who can take it away. So how can you have fear over something that has grown to protect you? Actually, cancer is actually a protect mechanism, because even when the cell grows, it's hiding all these toxins and all of this stuff in it. The minute they poke it to do a biopsy,
It's spreading.
it's spreading, and that's when you have your the cancer has spread now and all of that. Yeah, that happens because you've tampered with it. It's actually a protective mechanism. Our bodies are so intelligent. God has designed us in a way that every single thing about us is perfect. Yet we think it's imperfect. So yet we still think that something outside of us, a drug, a farmer, a doctor, something like that is going to come and fix us and save us. But when you see a baby, when you see a child born, they're whole, they're perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, so beautiful, has hair, their eyes, two eyes, they can. Why would there be imperfection in this creation? There shouldn't be imperfection in this creation.
We are the ones, it all shifts because of us. Our perceptions are conditioning our
fear, our mind is driven by fear. Like, we're sold fear. In turn, what did I do? I had fear too. I was freaking out. I had so much fear, and actually training my mind was the hardest part. I could do all the physicals. I did all the changing my lifestyle, my diet, all of that. But the mental part of it, the fear part of it, it's still there sometimes. And what do I keep doing? Turning my fear into faith. Giving my fear away to God and receiving faith. And I just feel like just that on its own is taking your power back.
Yeah. It's awareness of you.
Yeah.
Awareness of your triggers. It's spending time alone with you, understanding I am feeling scared because of ABC. Yeah. I am worried about ABC.
Yeah. I agree. The fact that cancer is on such a rise, what is your opinion? Why do you think it is? Like, it's just crazy how many people are being diagnosed, from young kids, from adults, from old. Before it was like cancer was like an old age thing. Yeah. Somebody's old, yeah, they get cancer because the immune system's compromised. Done. But now you hear of it every single day.
Lifestyle, the environment, these extra vaccines, the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank God here we didn't vaccinate our kids.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing I'm just grateful for. Yeah. It's just lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we're not pausing, we're not slowing down, we're not looking at us. We're just on the go. In the supermarket, you're like, okay, great, I have 30 minutes, I need to buy XYZ. Rush, 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 first thing you pick. There's no awareness on what's around us, what's in us.
Totally, absolutely.
And it's scary how it's on the rise.
It is. It's really scary how it's on the rise. And I'm hoping that with this podcast and with this awareness that both of us have created today, and thank you for your vulnerability also. Honestly, your openness and vulnerability is very powerful to bring this stuff to the platform and to tell people, listen, this is what you need to do. This is how we feel. Both of us have had cancer. Both of us have come out stronger than before. And I am just absolutely grateful to have you in my life as a friend, as a support system. And I wanted to ask you to, these are my lovely angel cards that I use all the time. So I wanted to ask you to pick
I'm gonna pick one, but I just want to say that I think I got cancer. The lesson for me was I was not living a congruent life.
Yeah.
The awareness, and I chose to take that part of my life, hold on to it, release it, and turn it into a strength. And I'm very grateful for you. I'm grateful for this safe space we've created for us. And hopefully others listening on manage to have friends, people in their lives that they can create a safe space to. So thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Let's see what you get.
I have a feeling
2.
I've got 2.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens, and that means you need 2. And they're stuck together.
Yeah.
Completely stuck together.
Stag, trust and thrive. Star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul.
Let me see. Stag, trust and thrive, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, that is just absolutely amazing because you are following and thriving. Star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul.
Yeah.
You can read the full meaning after we've finished the recording today. But this one is also really nice. Star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. And then what would be really nice is take a picture and then journal about it. This is my favorite thing to do, is journal about it. So I picked one yesterday. I didn't pick one today, but mine was Magic Guardian, Unlock the Magic Within. And then I read the full meaning of it, and it just literally said that you have the magic within you. You don't need to look for it outside. You just have to ignite it from within. And that is why I'm here. And that is why we're doing this.
One of the messages today is that ignite the magic within.
Mm.
Be aware of your body. Be aware of what is going on within you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And trust yourself. It's happened for a reason. And how can you come out of it stronger?
I would say Cancer was my biggest teacher.
See?
Let's end it on that high note. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you for having me.
Lots of love.